Hi guys, this is Tony here from Metal Roos. You're about to sit down and enjoy an interview I just did um, over there, and so do like and subscribe so you can get all this straight into your streaming and into your consciousness as soon as it arrives. So enjoy the interview, and I will. Over to you, Tony.
Oh,
There you go, man.
made it.
You made
Hey, I'm
it.
really
Finally
good.
there. Good, good, man. I
Um,
like the love the t-shirt, by the way. Yeah. Oh, it's nice and colourful there behind you. Look at that. Look at it. It's going off.
yeah, man. Yeah, the reason I'm late is I've been hanging out in this venue, postering the walls, like I used to do years ago,
Yeah, it
and
brings
it's
back memories,
so
right?
good to be. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Just
So
lost
look,
track of time because I was just in.
oh mate, I don't. I'd be exactly the same. I'd be exactly the same. I was just. It's interesting to come to chat with you, man. It's because everyone everyone knows Frankie's, right? Who knew Frankie's, yeah. We all. It was one of those places that you all knew in Sydney. Even international people knew Frankie's, right? It was a hive of
Yeah, I got a little bit
infamy
of
and
that.
villainy, as they
Yeah.
said at Star Wars. Oh.
Are you nerding out already?
I was already. I got it. Just got it there. It's late. I'm tired. I'm just one of the been back and
Uh,
forth from Sydney today. So yeah. No, like
yeah. How
so
was
yeah.
that? How was that Aristocrats gig, dude?
Oh, dude, it blew my mind. Like I really love Guthrie Govan stuff and Marco Minimum and Brian as well. Just being there, like it was just
Unbelievable.
nice to nerd out for 2 hours. It was.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I should have gone. I
Mate,
should
it
have
was a
gone.
cracker of a show.
I had a pretty good excuse not to go, but no matter what the excuse, like certain gigs like that, like really niche things. If
Yeah.
they make their way here, you just got it. You
Well,
should
that's
just go.
right. That's right. I was meant to be going to see Ailstorm, but I was like, yeah, but this is aristocrats. So it was like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hailstorm will happen again.
Oh, exactly, exactly. The young dudes, and they'll be back, right? But so the new venue. Whereabouts is the new premises? Is it
So this
Dingbats?
Dingbats
Mm,
is occurring in a space that I've been scratching my head over what to name and brand it
mm.
for a little while now, and this will be the first year here right now. It's called Inferno's Rock Room, right? And
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
it's in the city, and as you can see, I mean, this place is fucking mad. Like it feels like you're in a hot tank
Oh, I love it.
of Aethery. It's
Yeah,
it's it's
yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
but yeah, Inferno's Rock Room. So Dingbats is like a rock and roll nightclub, and it's going to
Yeah.
happen here once a month. But
Yeah.
outside of that, the room's available to promoters and acts to rent
Good.
as a 250 cap ticketed space. So it's not a bar where you just walk up and hang out at the bar. You
No,
you
no.
buy a ticket, go to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show. Yeah.
That's great, man. We need more of that. I mean, I used to go, growing up in London, I used to go to a thing called the Web, which was a heavy metal nightclub at the Astoria, and it was one of those things that you just don't get anymore because people just you can't find them, like they're not
Yeah.
around. It's really good that you can keep it alive and bring it back because it's just nice to go and listen to music you want to listen to and have a drink, but not be bored by the soundtrack.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like what I've found and always known as you know is the appetite's there. It's just the
Oh
rooms
yeah.
aren't.
No.
That's kind of what I'm trying to balance currently.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
Sydney's
but this
such a
this
crazy
place
place.
did
Hmm?
say it again.
As a city's such a crazy place. It's always changing and moving, right? That's the balance of Sydney, I suppose.
Yeah, it changes and moves, and who's dictating the direction that it's moving? I don't know. Probably not you or I.
No,
So like,
unfortunately not.
let's
Unfortunately not.
bring
Men in
back.
suits.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, we need more Wayne's World in our lives.
We don't we just? Yeah, we do. We do. But it's really good that you keep the spirit alive. I say this to people all the time. I'm an old dude now and it's what keeps me young. It keeps me the spark of youth. is this kind of thing, like what you're doing, be able to turn up to a place like that once a month or whatever, or small venues. And small venues I hold a great pleasure in my heart for small venues, because
Yeah.
that's sometimes the best experiences I've ever had is in a small venue. 250 cap, that's brilliant.
Yeah, man.
You can just feel the energy in the room. It's not lost in a stadium.
Well, yeah, this is my niche. Smaller space is my niche. There's another like great spot opening on the 13th of March, just down the road. I've been rattling on about a tiny bit. Also, Chuck Trailers, and that's a 110 cap band room, also on underground.
Wow.
So even more intimate still. Free entry all the time. Um,
Brilliant.
yeah, shit's happening, man.
Yeah, it's so. I've been saying it for a little while. Really feeling it in the water at the moment. Like there was a hinterland time where nothing was happening. Bands weren't doing anything. There was no. You felt like especially the heavy scene, the rock scene was sort of dying. But it really feels it reignited, particularly over here. It's like
I agree.
you blink and someone's here now. Like they just seem to be coming, and it's
Yes.
and the local scene is so good,
Yeah.
so good. That
Yeah.
it's sort of we're so lucky for our
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's so good in every city too.
Yeah,
Every
it's
city
crazy.
has
Yeah.
a couple of shit hot acts in each niche. You know what I mean? There's
Mm.
there's like a great little stoner scene, a great little thrash scene, a great little, prog scene. Like every town has its niche down pat, I feel.
Yeah, well, you come from the thrash scene, right? Isn't it? It's that sort of hair metal thrash scene is your
Yeah, and probably
is where.
probably more hair metal than thrash.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I
I mean,
probably.
I probably prefer listening to really heavy shit,
Yeah,
but like technically, it's like, I'm a bit too much of a bozo to pull it off. So, slow down the BPM a bit and add a couple of millimeters to the hairdo, and that's kind of
that's
where.
right. That's right. That's right. You get your voice up really high. You'll be all right. Really tight jeans.
Yeah. I mean, that's totally going to be the vibe here at Dingbats. So, the
Brilliant.
the curation of bands will be like a pretty mixed hard rock bill. So it'll be everything from hair sort of shit through to alternative and grunge and stuff. But it'll always rock. It'll always be upbeat. It'll always be fun. But the DJ and the backing track in between bands, it's going to be very Hollywood.
Oh, brilliant, right? Because there's a place for that, man. But you want to have fun, and that music is
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
That's the,
exactly.
exactly. There's a time to nerd like I did last night. There's a time where you just go, oh, look at that man playing million notes a second. But
Yeah,
but there's also, more importantly, there's a time to have fun and rock and roll and have rock and roll. And Sydney really needs it, man. Like,
yeah. Well, thanks
I
for
think it
taking the
really
time to
does.
ask me about it, brother. Because
Yeah.
yeah, this is great.
Yeah, look, because I mean, we all felt a little bit of sadness when Frankie's. There was all a little bit of us was sort of like, a bit of our soul went, oh fuck, like here we go,
I
like
know. I know. You know what? A little bit of my soul went, oh, thank God.
God, I could have a holiday.
Yeah, yeah. That was 10 full-on years, dude. And
Mate.
I didn't get out of it without my addictions. It was like fuck, like I'm every stereotype now.
Yeah.
But
Good on you.
but everyone had a great time, myself included.
And that's what it's about, right? And it came across in the atmosphere. You never went there and went, "Oh, Jesus, this is fucking going. I'm going to go on somewhere else." Like it never had that. It was always full of the youthful energy of rock and roll, man. And that sort of Harbour City feel that you guys have in Sydney. That youthful punk sort of energy that happens there a lot. And you get
Yeah.
that, yeah, and it's great.
Do you get back home much at all?
Yeah, I
Is
do. I go back when I can. But even again, that scene has died, man. Like in London, I was back there a couple of years ago, just visiting family. And I used to go to the Astoria and the Marquee and all these venues. They're not there. They've all gone.
Yeah,
They're not even. There's not even a blue plaque that says, "Here's the Astoria." Like it used to. So many amazing bands play. Nothing. Just a soulless building that who the people who were living in it or working in it have no clue
wow.
about its
Well, that's
past,
so
and it's just
strange.
it's horrible. It's
Yeah.
it hurt me, man. I was like, oh yeah, I'll go back because I took my wife to see The Damned and the Antioch League was our first gig as a couple at the
Oh,
Astoria,
cool.
and it was
Yeah.
like, eh, it's what I can't because I hadn't
Not
been back.
there.
I hadn't been back for 10 years prior, you see. So I went back. I was
Yeah.
like, and that's why things like what you're doing and keeping it alive, whether you move it one spot to another, it doesn't matter. The energy moves with you, right? And just to flatten it, and if you walked away and went, "That's it, I'm done," it's just forgotten. One or two, maybe 5, 10 years, and it's just a whisper in the wind, right?
Like,
Whereas,
yeah,
yeah,
I guess though, there's been, yeah, I mean, it's the, the there's been a pretty loyal kind of like crew of ex Frankies kind of human beings who keep sort of reaching out and remember that time and all
oh
of that.
yeah, yeah, it'd make a good
But I
book.
mean, how long does that last for? That's the question. I don't know.
Well, that's right.
But so what was that great one in London? Crowbar? Was
Crowbar,
it the
yeah.
Crow?
No, no, you're
Yeah.
talking. Are you you mean in Camden,
Soho, wasn't it?
Soho? Oh yes, that was the
Yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah. Sorry, because I was
Yeah.
thinking, I was thinking of the Underground. Yeah,
Oh,
that's yeah,
Camden Underground.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. Yeah, well,
yeah.
that's still going, right?
Man, I was kicked out of there more times than I'd like to think.
What a great fuck, man. Like I've heard so many great stories about that place. A friend of mine stumbled in, super drunk, didn't know what was going on, and typo negative. We're on stage. He was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"What the f-?"
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Big
yeah.
Steel was like
Oh
playing
my
his
God.
bass,
Oh
chain around his
yeah.
shoulder and all that.
Well, I was art college with this kid guy, and he goes, "Oh, my brother, mate's brother's in a band," and all right, whatever. And we sort of went. I had no idea it was Chumbawamba, right? And I was like, "Oh, this is before
No.
before they had the big hit. Like this is all right, whatever."
Okay.
And we
Don't
went back.
start
Yeah,
singing it.
yeah. So we went backstage. We're drinking heavily, and then he starts to crack on to Elastica. You know the band Elastica? Do you remember
Yeah,
Elastica?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah, I
starts
do.
cracking onto her, and we just got picked up physically by these big tongans and whoop onto the high road. And I had no wallet. My jacket's in there. We had to walk like 20 miles home. It was like
Yeah.
it was just those rock and roll memories, right? It's great memories. I was like, I was drunk when I got thrown out, completely sober when I was home. Got home. But I'm sure those sort of places, I'm sure those sort of stories come out of your place a lot, right? I'm sure there's heaps of those kind of fabulous,
Yeah.
particular bands that have played there. You know, you've
Oh,
had
yeah.
some
Oh,
interesting people through there, man.
yeah, yeah. There's been some. Yeah, I mean, there are some of those things that have. There's a little bit of a code. Certain things might be a bit too embarrassing for whoever was involved to repeat, but there's heaps of them that are just like there for public consumption. I'm happy to share whenever
Yeah,
anyone asks.
yeah,
It's all-
yeah. A little disclaimer: this did not happen really underneath the bottom, particularly underneath. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
for the most part, man. Like I've found that, the bigger the act, the bigger the star, the cooler they are.
I
I
found
think it,
that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, particularly if they're going to sort of go out there in the wild and sort of enter that public domain, and anything can kind of happen in that space. They're usually like, they've done the homework and they're mentally prepared for how that shit goes down, and how to react without coming across like a total wanker, but
yeah.
it's the upstarts who are like tasting a little whiff of something that usually take the bait and turn into assholes.
Yeah, and then disappear, but then disappear, right? You know, like
Yeah,
the
but
real,
you don't
they,
deserve to be there.
yeah, yeah, like,
Or the other end of the coin is you get the bodyguards or the helpers will be really overzealous, but the act themselves are cool as fuck. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I remember meeting one of my heroes, Billy Bragg. I remember meeting him, and I'd seen him in at a free festival in Tooting, like in East West London, South London, um, many years ago. And he came on late, stay onto the stage late, and for some reason, I'm queuing up to get his autograph after the gig, right? And there's this big bodyguard, and I'm sort of talking to him, and I remember I said, "Hey, man, you didn't come on. You came on late." He goes, "Yeah, I had the shit." So like, he was talking, chatting away, right? And this bodyguard's going, can you move along? And Billy turns around and goes, I'm talking to Tony. You shut up. Like I'm talking to him.
Nice.
And that's the
Fuck
kind
yeah.
of thing like, yeah, exactly right. Because it wasn't about like just, move along. Because it's just false. And I mean, the image of you have of your heroes, you want them to be human. You want to be superhuman, but you want them to be
Yeah.
human as well, don't you? You want to think that they would have a beer with you or chat about life. They wouldn't just be like, oh no, you know, I'm going to get my Rolls
Oh,
Royce
for
and drive
sure.
off. Yeah.
But then there are those ones are just going to be a landmine. If you like Rose, let's just not go
Oh
there.
no, no, no. Yeah. He's like, yeah, stay over there and explode yourself
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
Oh dear. And again, another thing about small venues, which people don't appreciate, and I think sometimes is one of the best bits about it, is here in Canberra, I'm at the basement. I see bands, they come out, they walk around, they chat to you. You don't, the barrier, like the punk thing, it completely broke those barriers. Bands will come out and chat, they shake your hand, they talk to you, because at the end of the day, they're making it for you, aren't they? Like as the listener.
Yeah, man. That's
And in
that's
those
you,
small venues,
you're the
yeah,
ticket there. You're the ticket to doing the thing.
yeah, yeah. And I like the smaller venues. I've always have done. It's the thing I would always. I mean, we've all been to massive festivals and stadiums. We've all done it, right? But there's always a feeling when you come away. Like I went to see Iron Maiden last year in Sydney, and I felt so underwhelmed. And I've seen them so many times. I just felt, yeah. I walked away. I didn't have
Just
the
too much of
energy.
a vibe.
Yeah, the vibe
Yeah.
wasn't there. I didn't feel it, and I didn't. I felt sad to say that because they're one of my favorite bands in all the world, and I was like, oh, they've been. But then the following week, I went to a band. I paid $40 for three local bands at the basement. It blew my mind. I came out of there and was like sweaty and rock and roll, and
It's
it
the
was
visceral thing. It's actually
visceral.
loud. You
Yeah,
can feel it. It hurts your ears.
yeah,
I mean, you
wonderful.
don't have that massive
No,
void that you feel like, all the charisma in the world isn't going to transmit from that stage all the way to you.
yeah,
And
I absolutely agree 100% because it, it's what makes what you're doing. I keep saying it, man, but it's special because, like last night at the Aristocrat, I think it was like 500 of us, possibly, maybe a little bit less, at the Manning
yeah,
Bar. It didn't
yeah.
feel. It felt packed, but it didn't feel crushed, and it was a real great experience. Everyone was there. It was the room was full of love, man, and it was really special.
Oh,
And
excellent.
that's and again those small venues, that's the key to it. I love that. I
Yeah.
keep saying it, but I love the colors. Is behind you, man. That strobing is crazy.
Oh, dude, it's like I've been sitting meditating in this room for weeks now and sort of mulling over what to call the thing, and it's so fucking sick. It feels like you're in an inferno. It's got these like pulsating
I love it,
lava-like
mate.
lighting, and
I
it's
love
really,
it.
really doomy and underground. And I think for a rock show, it's going to really come to life.
Yeah.
There's never been anything like that in this space down here. It's like yeah, nobody who comes here will have been here prior, and
Wow. Okay. So a lot of
it's
work
really
on your heart. A lot of work on your part to get it ready. Then, if it was an empty space like,
yeah, yeah. Well, it's being used for things, just not for this.
yeah.
And it's like sometimes you walk into a space and you recognize that, like, sure, it works for one thing, but it's going to work really fucking well for that other thing.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah. Yeah.
it just screams rock and roll. It's so 80s. It's
I,
so fucking 80s. It's like the Viper Room, dude. It's
oh,
cool.
mate. I mean, it's that time of my life. Then mid to late '80s, was a great time to be alive, man, and great
Were
time
you
to be old enough to buy
sitting around
records.
watching shows? Oh, of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
I'll buy records that don't cost $89
Oh,
each.
give a shit, yeah. And
Oh,
you'd have £4 or $4 in your pocket. It's all you had, and you'd buy the record because you liked the cover, and you didn't know what it was going to do. And you got it
I
home,
love
and you were either disappointed or your whole life changed. It was
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
it was a
yeah,
gamble that you were ready to take. Willing to
yeah.
take. Yeah.
Well, I took that gamble with CDs because that was my era, right?
Mm.
Time. And then there was this whole period where everyone was stressing out over carrying around all this plastic and everything's going digital. And I was like, I love these fucking things. I'm not getting rid of my CDs. And now CDs are fucking popping off again.
I know, I know.
Like,
I never let go of my vinyl. My collection is like it's had it since I was like 12, and growing since I was 12. So it's like it's a really big collection. But I do get a little shitty when, um, you pay 20 euro for the album, but then 80 euro for the postage, and like, what the hell are you doing to me?
oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
like I want to support these small bands. I really genuinely do. That's why I tend to now stay within the Australian scene because I can support them. They get all the money. They get all of the plaudits and stuff, and it's not all in postage to some faceless idiot, you know.
yeah. Yeah,
And
true. Sometimes you just need to do it to find what you need, though. We
I
had this
know that is a problem.
the Frankie's world famous house band recently had this audition to do this show with Tony Martin, right? The singer
Oh,
for
one of my heroes. I've
yeah,
interviewed him.
80.
I love him.
Have
Yes.
you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I love him also,
Yeah.
especially up to hang out for an afternoon of beers after
He's
this.
a
Like,
dude. Yeah.
he's such a dude. He's such a dude. But in lead to this session, I had two CDs from when I was a kid, and the others I had to track down. And it was like, fuck, man. One was in like Lithuania, one was in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't find any of this shit
No.
online.
No, you can't because when it was the IRS label stuff, they all got what you couldn't get it. A headless
Right.
cross, all that stuff. Because my
How
first,
good is that
yeah,
shit?
my very
It's just,
first concert was I'm as Black Sabbath, Tony Martin, Hammer's Valiant, Headless Cross tour,
oh,
and
wow.
it was
Amazing.
with
Cozy Powell on drums.
Cozy Power, mate. Oh,
Unbelievable.
and then on comes Brian May to do a solo at the end, and it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was just madness, man.
Ah,
So when I got to interview him, he was such. They went, "You've got 20 minutes." An hour later, I'm still talking to him. Like it was just,
he
yeah,
tried to act like time was money, but he was loving the conversation too
yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, this is one of my. He just kept talking and talking. It was really good. He's such a dude.
Uh,
I know that he's trying to get over here because he didn't want to really talk. I know he was like he wasn't really keen on touring because of COVID, but that's all gone now, isn't it? So hopefully he'll.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The feelers have been put out there. You know, there's a crew that like Doug at Hardline Media is like
Oh, Dougie,
on
mate. Yeah,
the
yeah.
front foot with it, and it would work. You know, it
Oh,
would
mate,
work.
it definitely would. I mean,
All
Dougie's
he
good at
needs
what he
is
does. Yeah, yeah. Maybe you could get him in your venue. Come on, that'd be great. Let's get him in there 3 nights in a row. Done, mate.
This is 250 cap this space, and kind of at a stretch. I feel it's going to be shoulder to shoulder. It's technically a 300 cap space.
Yeah,
But I plan on being really liberal with comp tickets and all that stuff. And the first event is the night before the Sydney Knot Fest, and I just know that kind of around it's 4 or 5 days away now, and so it's
mm.
around now I start getting a phone call or two about, hey man, where are we going to party if Frankie's isn't
Yeah.
there? And I plan on saying, I'll tell you where you're going to
You're
go
gonna
and
come
party.
here, and it's gonna go off.
Exactly, exactly. I'm keeping a good capacity of tickets
Good,
unsold
man.
to
Good.
allow.
And that's the way to be, right? That's like used to always be, those sort of things. You always had, particularly if you've got to start your business up, you got to. It's almost like from scratch again. You have a loyal fan base. You know that all the bands want to be there. All the fans, all the, but it's still you want to get more. You want to try to get there's more people through the door, isn't it? So it's just good to do. So
Fuck yeah,
yeah. Oh
fuck
yeah,
yeah.
mate. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
And not charge $25 for a schooner of beer. Like,
No promises, man.
oh, I'm only kidding. It's getting harder and harder to
Yeah,
go out and literally it is like you. I'll have a pint. Oh, that's $50. What the fuck? It's
yeah.
just
I know, man. We were joking on this last tour. We just jumped off. We were going around with Tim Ripper Owens.
oh yeah, good
Uh,
guy. Yeah, Timmy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
such a good guy. But we got in this sort of thing where every morning we'd go to the bars and have a couple of pints, and it was a big drinking tour. It
yeah.
was so much fun. But with each airport, it was like we'd compare what the pints would cost. Sydney was $21.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
fucking bad,
that's
man. You
bad,
know,
man.
it's
But
yeah,
but
before
back in
10
London,
a.m.
yeah. Oh shit. Back in London, I was like, just coming, like day I'm flying back to Australia, I thought I'll go and have a quick pint before. And you know, where I grew up in North London, that area, you get a pint for about 3.50, right? £3.50, something like that.
Oh,
I was in
cool.
central London, it was £10 a pint. And I'm
Oh,
looking, I'm
fuck.
going, look, man, I get it. I just want a beer. Can you, but 10, and it's not
Yeah.
even craft beer, it's the awful shitty lager that
Yeah.
you know, like, it's like, what?
Fuck.
Madness. Madness. But hey, it's what it is. We've got to pay taxes. We've got to live a life. You know, that's
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
it
I mean,
is.
the problem, it's, like you pay too much at the bar, but it's because the bar's paying too much for the
Oh
product,
mate,
and
it
it's
follows on, and your
too
license
much
fees are,
tax.
yeah,
It's the whole.
license,
It's a whole. Yeah.
yeah, mate. Licensing alone is a pain in the ass. I don't know how I wouldn't want to do it, man. Like my father
No.
was a publican. He ran a pub.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, but he never talked about licensing because it was not his pub. He was just the manager of it, you know, like he.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck, I wouldn't. All that paperwork. No, no, thank you.
Yeah. No fun. Really no fun.
No
Hey,
fun.
dude, you know what's lots of fun? Putting posters on walls in
Oh, I bet it
rock
is,
clubs.
mate. I bet it
Back
bloody
to it.
is. Oh, mate, you get back to it. Thanks for chatting. I cannot wait to come and see it, and
Okay.
I really hope that it just goes off rocks, man. Because we all thank you very much. You're an important person in the scene, and it's important that you keep doing it, mate. And it's important that
Thanks.
you enjoy doing it, and it's a pleasure, man. You're still enjoying doing it. It's
Yeah. Well, hopefully someone comes because I'll be
they,
doing it either.
mate, they'll turn up. Don't you worry about it.
All
You won't be able to move in there. You'll be all right, mate. No
right,
problem
brother. What
at
a
all.
pleasure.
Yeah, chat, man. Nice to see you. And get back to the sticking the posters up. Ciao, man.